yesterday we had stopped on that leads Anthony triangle that we said how he, while using the two, making the two leads negative at the same point and then creating a virtual electrode, that virtual electrode was actually behaving as a new electrode, and we had to augment that because it was a very much weak electrode. So we made it, if it was that the right and left electrode were being made negative and foot was kept positive, then the electrode, then the lead which we were getting was the ABF from negative to positive. That is, positive was for this, and it was called as a perpendicular to lead one. Then we also said in the last video that the lead which is perpendicular to lead 2 was the ABL, in which we were making two leads, that is right and foot negative at the same time, and left lead we were making positive at that time, and then we were getting an ABL which was perpendicular to lead 2. And then we also said that we had lead 3, in which we were making the left hand foot as negative, and a virtual electrode was created in the middle which was perpendicular to the lead 3 and was called the lead ABR. And these, by this arrangement, what Enthoven did is he made these 6-limb lead ECG. He was able to get a 6-limb lead ECG. Now this Enthoven, he gave a concept called that system, in which what he did, this guy, this genius, what he did was, what this genius did was, he gave a circle, he gave a plus 180 minus 80 system. He gave a plus 180 minus 80 system. What he did was, he said, if I take heart, and he said his two leads of concerns, first was between lead 1 and lead AVF, because your heart is in the 59-60 degree orientation, that is, it is parallel to lead 2, isn't it? So lead 2 was like this, okay? So that means the angle made here was 60 degrees. The angle here made was 60 degrees, fine? And what he did was, he made a system such that things above the line were taken as negative, and things below the line were taken as positive. So more negative values will be above the line, and positive values will be below the line. Okay. To understand this angular concept, how I will try to make you understand is, if I draw, what he did was, he was making first an electrode, that is lead 1. This was the lead 1. And then he made a lead 2 like this, and then lead 3 like this. Okay. And we said we had an electrode which was perpendicular to, this lead was perpendicular to lead 2 and was called ABL. And we had another lead which was perpendicular to lead 3, that was called ABR. And we had a lead which is perpendicular to lead 1 and we call it AVL. Okay, so AVL perpendicular to lead 2, AVR perpendicular to lead 3, AVF perpendicular to lead 1. Clear? Excuse me. Now, if we, what he said that, so that means this angle, because he gave the concept of an equilateral triangle, that is, every angle in this lead is 60 degrees. Every angle is 60 degrees. But what we do is, we don't count the angle from this side, we count the angle from this side, and then there should be 180, 120. This angle should be 120, isn't it? Because 120 plus 60 is 180. So this angle from this side should be 120. Now you are saying that you have every lead perpendicular. We have every lead perpendicular to, the distance between lead 2 and lead 1 should be 60 degrees. This should be plus 60. Isn't it? Because you moved like this, and everything below the line, everything below this line is positive. So I will write plus 60. Okay. And this is AVF. AVF should be plus 90, isn't it? It should be plus 90. And this lead, if this is 60, and this is AVL. AVL is perpendicular to lead 3, isn't it? AVL is perpendicular to lead 3, isn't it? AVL is perpendicular to lead 3. No, lead 2. Okay, yeah, lead 2. Yes, very nice. So it is perpendicular to lead 2. I was checking you whether you are answering right or not. So if this is 60, then this should be 30. This all will become 90. Clear? So this should be plus the 90. Then this should be plus 120. This should be plus 120. And this should again start going negative, negative from this side. So what do I mean? What do I mean by this? This is what I am speaking. Do I have a hexagonal system? So from this diagram, you can understand this hexaxial reference system, where you see the heart. I'll mark this with a yellow or a spark color. The heart, the direction is towards plus 60. And if you see, since every lead has a perpendicular lead to it, you know, every lead has a perpendicular lead to it. So if I take lead 2, if I take this lead 2, what happens? Lead 2 and AVL is perpendicular. Lead 2 and AVL is perpendicular. So that means there should be a 60-30 arrangement. Yes, it's a 60-30 arrangement. It's a 60-30. So this should be 60. This should be 60. Then this should be 30. Isn't it? This should be 60. Then this should be 30. Clear? Now if I take lead 3, this is lead 3. Lead 3 and AVR are perpendicular. Lead 3 and AVR are perpendicular. Okay. So if they are perpendicular, then this should be again 60 and this should be 30. Okay. So this should be 60. This should be again 30. Is there any doubt with this? Now, can we see in the reverse direction how we are getting this concept? How we are getting this concept? Since you are taking 120 from this side, where is that image? Since you are taking 120 from this side, I hope you can understand that by taking 120 from this side, you are able to get this plus 60, plus 90 and 120. We only count from this side, not from internal side. We count from out of 120 like this. Okay. So can I draw this system below? Can I draw this system below like this system below the line as lead 1? This is lead 2, which is plus 60. And this is 0 degree. Isn't it? It's 0 degree. This is plus 60 degree. Okay. Fine. And then this is plus 90 degree. And then you have plus 120. Then this should become again 30, 30, 150. Then this should become plus 180. Has it completed the 180 round? Yes. Lower plus 180s are done. Okay. Then this should from here become minus 60. And this should become minus 90. And this should become minus 120. And this should become minus 150. So how I remember, I have a trick for you. How I remember is if I forget anything, what I do, if you want to see which lead is opposite to it, just remember the plus value, negative value you can remember. Negative value you can remember. What we do is, how this will get removed, by the way, it's removing or not. So this is not removing. So see, if I take a purple color, now if I tell you the value of lead 3 is 120, what is the opposite here? Opposite should be just subtract the quantity from 180. Just subtract the quantity from 180. So this is 120. So 180 minus 120 becomes 60. Is it plus minus 60? You have to put the opposite sign, minus 60. Now if I tell you I have a quantity plus 60, what is the positive sign? 180 minus 60 becomes 120, but minus, it should be minus 120 in the opposite direction. So minus 120 in the opposite direction. This is plus 60 here. Now, if I tell you I have a positive lead plus 30, what should be opposite to that? So 180 minus 30, it becomes 150. So this is 150. See, minus 150. So minus signs you have to remember. So you will locate it oppositely, but opposite side, but with opposite charge, opposite sign. Okay. Can you understand this 180 concept? If you forget this hexagonal system, you can at least draw first what you do in exam. Any entrance exam, what happens, you should draw this first. So this is 1, this is ABF. This is 0, this is plus 90. At least you know this. Then you draw 60. This is 60. So now you start making opposite things. Take this 60. This 60 was lead 2. So 180 minus 60 becomes 120. That is minus 120. And oppositely make a minus 120 line. Then 180 minus 90 becomes 90. Then the opposite should be minus 90. 180 minus 0 should become 180. Then this should be plus minus 180. Plus minus 180. Who is not able to understand? Are we clear? So this should be plus 60. And this should be plus 120. So plus 120, 180 minus 120 gives 60. So you got the minus negative value, minus 60 value. But put the opposite charge, but opposite sign. Okay, yeah, you have understood this. This is your hexaxial system. This is your hexaxial system. So before going to that, I would like you to write something about yesterday's topic. What is a unipolar lead? If they ask you for a physiology level, we have two things. One is Enthoven's triangle, one is Enthoven's law. Okay. Enthoven's triangle says that if you are diagrammatically, so what is Enthoven's triangle? Enthoven's triangle says, Enthoven's triangle, it says, if you diagrammatically represent the two arms and left leg, and in such a way so that the apex of the triangle is, this is right arm, left arm, foot, they will form apices. So they will be these. So left foot will be 1 and then you have 2 points above. And it's an equilateral triangle where you have everything equal to 60, as you know from your mathematics. What is the function of this? Where is the right leg, by the way? Where is the right leg? The right leg is acting as a ground. I taught you yesterday. Right leg is acting as a ground. Okay. And it's important that all these electrodes should be connected. Okay. Then there is another concept, that is Enthoven's law. Enthoven's law, it says the electric potentials of any two bipolar electrodes. If you have electronic potentials of any two electrodes, you can find the third electrode nicely. You can find the third value easily. Okay. Any one of you, can you tell me the formula? At least what formula he had made? So Enthoven's law says lead 2 is equal to deflection in lead 1 plus deflection in lead 3. Lead 2 is equal to deflection in lead 1. What is Enthoven's law? Mean deflection in lead 1. Mean deflection in lead 1. And lead 3 mean deflection. Mean deflection in lead 3. And will be equal to mean deflection in lead 2. Clear? Now if I tell you, I have a lead, I have lead 2, okay, lead 2, the amplitude is 12 mm. I give you a question, lead 2 amplitude is 12 mm and lead 3 amplitude is 8 mm. So what will the amplitude in lead 1? So lead 1 mean deflection will be 2 minus 3. That will become 12 minus 8 and that will be 4 mm. Clear? This is Enthoven's law. This is Enthoven's law. But remember to give signs, okay? You can also use it for the lead displacement, okay? So lead displacement we can learn by many other things also, okay? So I will teach you that also. In the ECG, you will check yourself that whether the patient has been correctly put the leads. Is the technician done any mistake? Okay. So see, now I take you to unipolar leads. So what are unipolar leads? So just remember the definition. Unipolar leads are if I connect three limb leads, if I connect three limb leads to a common terminal, if I connect three limb leads to a common terminal through a resistance, through an electrical resistance, the combined voltage from the three leads will be zero. What? The combined voltage from the three leads will be zero. Okay. Now, sir, which common terminal should I attach? Should I attach this common terminal to the negative electrode or the positive electrode? So you can attach this to the negative pole of galvanometer, the measuring current device. Okay. That is the indifferent electrode. Okay. Just write this. Okay. Don't worry about this. And the fourth electrode is an exploring electrode. Fourth electrode is an exploring electrode. Fourth electrode is an exploring electrode. Okay. And you have to attach this to the positive pole. Indifferent electrode you have to attach to negative. So indifferent electrode to negative terminal. Exploring electrode to positive terminal. Okay. So there are basically 6 unipolar leads. Okay. So what are those leads? They are basically called precordial leads. They are called precordial leads. Which leads did you read yesterday? Which leads did you read yesterday? They were the limb leads. Yesterday, which leads you read? 1, 2, 3 were? They were limb leads. They were bipolar or unipolar? Bipolar or unipolar? Very nice answer. They were bipolar. And now here you have unipolar. Here you have unipolar. So unipolar are always, these are also called as chest leads because they are put on the chest as you have seen in this diagram. Can you see this person? Chest leads. Don't go his hands, just go on the chest. These are chest leads. Unipolar or bipolar? Very nice answer. You are nice doctors. So see, what I was saying, yeah, chest leads or they are also called V leads. Why V leads? Because we use these exploring electrodes from V1 to V6. We have V1 to V6. Okay. So why there is a need of this lead? Basically, to make it easy, can you see I call this system as solar system. I call this lead system as solar system. Can you see like it a solar system? Solar system. This is my term. It is not a book. It's my terminology. I call it solar system. The heart is like a sun in the center and all these cameras I am putting on different axes so that I can see the heart, not back. Back are also there, V9, V10, V11, V12. But we are here concerned about the V1 to V9. Okay. So V1 to V6 leads for you people. So we have placement of these leads. See, one camera will give me the look from this side. This is one camera looking here. One camera will give me the image from this side. One camera will tell me what is happening on this side, this side, this side. These all cameras are telling me the current status. So can I say this is measuring the current in a horizontal plane? Because if I cut this, it's a horizontal plane. Horizontal plane. So your chest leads are actually measuring all these things in a way of solar system. Okay, clear? So what was this system doing then? This system Where is that system? This system 1, 2, 3. They were measuring the current in the vertical form. They were telling me the vertical form only. These leads 1, 2, 3. They were telling me the vertical form of the currents. They were measuring the current in the vertical plane like this. But chess leads are measuring the current in the horizontal form. Are we able to understand this? This diagram is important. Okay, very nice. You have understood this. Now, these cameras should be fitted at some places. These cameras they should fit at some places. Okay, they should fit at some places. The camera fitting, the places they are fitted, there are some, you have to remember that. So I would like to remember them as 4 or 5. See, only V1 and V2, you have to speak the fourth intercostal space. Can you see he has kept the V1, V2 in the fourth intercostal space? I will tell you. Just wait for me, I will show you. So V1 and V2, you have to remember the fourth intercostal space. And rest all the leads will be in the fifth intercostal space. This is the way I remember. Okay, this is the way I remember. Now see, the first lead is placed. So lead V1 is placed in fourth ICS. ICS means intercostal space. Right to the sternum. Right to the sternum. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. Right to sternum. Clear? Lead V2 is placed again in the fourth intercostal space, just left to the sternum. Just left to the sternum. Lead V3 is placed. I won't write lead V3 first. I will write lead V4 first. Then you can remember lead 3. I will write lead 4. Lead 4 is present. Now what you will speak? Fifth intercostal space or fourth intercostal space? What you will start speaking when I go towards after 2? Very nice. I will talk about fifth intercostal space. Now, fifth intercostal space. First I should write the space. Fifth intercostal space. Fifth intercostal space. Mid-clavicular line. But mid-clavicular line. Mid-clavicular line. Then where is V3? V3 is placed between V2 and V4. Between V2 and V4, V3 is placed. Between V2 and V4, it is placed in halfway. Halfway. I can say halfway. Okay? Halfway between them. Clear? Then what should come after V4? I should go directly to V5. Now which space to write? Which space to write here, guys? Which space to write first? Yes. Fifth intercostal space. Very nice. Fifth intercostal space. But on the anterior axillary line. Anterior axillary line. But where at axillary line? At the same level where you place the V4. So V4 you placed in the mid-clavicular line. V4 you placed in the mid-clavicular line. Then you should place it in the anterior, you placed it in the mid-clavicular line. Now you have to place the V5 but at the same level. So at the same level but anterior axillary line. Anterior axillary line. This is the axilla. So anterior axillary line. This is mid axillary line and this is back posterior axillary line. I hope you know anatomy. So anterior axillary line, V5, same level at V4, but at the anterior axillary line. V4, mid-clavicular line, fifth left intercostal space. So it is fifth left intercostal space. Fifth left intercostal space. So V4, fifth. So all we are going towards left. Can you see we are more towards the left? We are going more towards the left when we increase the number of these leads. We are going more towards the left side. So from right side we started and towards left we are going. So fifth intercostal space, anterior axillary line, but at the same level of V4. V6. So V6 will be mid axillary line. So this is V6 in the mid axillary line. So mid axillary line is V6. Mid axillary line. But the level should be same as V5 and V4. Easy? Is it easy? So how I remember for you people, so that you qualify the test with great marks, what we do is we do like this. Lead 1, just have a look at this. Lead V1, V1 should be in the fourth intercostal space, no, right to the sternum. V2, fourth intercostal. Because I taught you in the beginning, you have to just remember fourth intercostal space for first two leads, that is V1 and V2, and the rest are in the fifth intercostal space and fourth intercostal space. V1, fourth intercostal space, just right to the sternum. V2, fourth intercostal space, left to the sternum. Okay, so one is right, two is left, left to the sternum. So sternum is taken as a landmark. Left to the sternum, right to the sternum. Okay. V4, we don't talk about V3 because it is between V4 and V5. So V2 and V4. So we say V4, mid clavicular line, fifth left intercostal space, because they are going more towards the left side. So left intercostal space. V5, V3, between V2 and V4, halfway. So halfway between V3 and V4. So where did we mark V3? I am telling V3 is put between V2 and V4. So where is V2? V2 was in the fourth intercostal left in the left side. Okay, same space, same space. So this should be same space. Okay, same space. So there are more leads here, but just remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to remember these leads. This diagram, please remember these leads only. Okay. Yes. Color. I will show you the color of other leads. Just wait for me. Okay. So this for the first year, I'm telling the things which you need. Okay, for the exam purpose also. So V1, fourth intercostal space, right to the sternum. Are you watching the diagram? I'm speaking. You should see. V2, fourth intercostal space, left to the sternum. Now I don't take V3. I take V4. It is the fifth intercostal space, mid clavicular line. So this is mid clavicular line. Clavicle is here, and then it should be in the mid. Then I have V3. V3 is placed halfway between V2 and V4. So that means you have to make a V2 and V4 so that you can locate the V3. Okay. Then we have the V5. V5 is present in the same fifth intercostal space, interaxillary line. And V6 is placed in the mid-axillary line, fifth intercostal space, at the same level as V4 and V5. Is this clear with you? Now guys, I bought an image for you so that you can see clearly that how leads have been placed. Okay, if you see the first lead, he has, as you know, you count the ribs from the sternal angle, and from the sternal angle, as you're counting the ribs, so this should be the fourth intercostal space. So this should be the second intercostal space, third intercostal space, and a fourth intercostal space. And you can see V1 has been placed, the red color lead. Okay, there is some color coding for you. Just have your focus on these V leads first, not limb leads. So if you can see, you can use a red or a brown, because some people were asking me the color also. So it's not required to remember these colors of chest leads. Just remember their location. But yeah, you can remember the location of these limb leads. That I will show you a trick how I remember. Okay. If you want me, I can share that trick with you how I remember this. Yeah. So I will share. Don't worry. So see, if you see the V1 we are using a red color. Okay. And it is placed on the fourth intercostal space. So if I see above the fourth intercostal space, so in the fourth ICS, right to the sternum. That's what I was saying. I have written already. I will show you here. Right to the sternum. So this is the sternum. This is your sternum. Right to this space you have V1, and left to this same level you have V2, fourth intercostal space. That's why I taught you to remember this fourth intercostal space. Now I move to the fifth intercostal space. So in the fifth intercostal space, this diagram is a little bit, yeah. So fourth intercostal space, we are placing this V3 lead between the V2 and V4. So first we will make the V4. So this V4 is exactly on the mid clavicular line. If you draw the mid clavicular line, so this V4 is present in the fifth intercostal space. left to the left side mid-clavicular line. V5 is in the anterior axillary line. So at the same level, but in the anterior axillary line, and then V6 we have in the mid axillary line. Is it clear now? So can you see he has placed, so which lead? See, this is red color. So he has placed this V1 and V2. Then he has gone to yes, V3, V4, V5, V6. Can we see and mid axillary line, anterior axillary and mid clavicular line? This is difficult. So these are all chest leads. What is present in between this? Cardi jelly. A jelly, cardi jelly is here. So jelly, first they put a jelly and then they put here. Okay, very nice your understanding. So how I remember limb leads? These are now limb leads. The limb leads I remember like this, that right hand is always like right means white, means everything is good with right hand, and doing anything with the left is something black, that no. And these 2 feet, I think I am driving a car. I'm driving a car, and in the car right side is an accelerator, so I move the car, and red is a brake, the left side I brake, apply the brakes if I am in an Asian country. No. Okay. Are we clear? Are we clear? So green is an accelerator, red is a brake, and this is the good and bad. Okay. Is it okay to remember? Yeah. This is the way I remember. So these are the color which he is making. Okay. Can you see this color? Yeah. So we have right arm is white, black, green, and red. Okay. So he has marked. See, right arm. This is left arm. This is right leg. This is left leg. Okay, friends. I hope you are enjoying ECG cardiologists. Okay. Yes, very nice. So so if I see the heart, from this system, if I see the heart, where is that? Yeah, this diagram, what I see is basically if I draw this heart here, in this system, I make it round like this. What I see is this is the right ventricle, and you know right ventricle is thinner. The wall of the right ventricle is very much thinner, and you have a left ventricle which is comparatively thicker. Is comparatively thicker. Left ventricle. Okay, left ventricle is thicker. Clear? So if he is placing a lead, if I talk about the limb leads first, if I place the limb leads, limb leads will be, which limb lead will be in exact close contact with this? It will be lead 2. Lead 2 will be, if I draw a triangle like this, he has drawn this triangle here. Limb, I'm talking about the limb. So this lead 2, if I shift this lead to here, this lead 2 is more nicely in the same plane as the heart is, 60 degrees. Isn't it? The current is generated in 60-degree direction because SA node, AV node, and then this. Clear? So what we see, if I talk about the chest leads, then if I place the chest leads, so since you have placed the chest leads like this, so that means the V1, that means the V1 and V2, I will write them, V1 and V2, they are watching the right ventricle. You can watch the right ventricle and a little bit of septum. Okay, that's why they are called right ventricular leads. They are called V1 and V2 are called right ventricular leads, and we call it so this V1 and V2, these are known as right ventricle. They are focusing like a camera on the right ventricle and the septum. That's why we call them a right ventricular leads. So V1 and V2, we call them right ventricular leads, also known as septal leads. And believe me, they are so much thinner that they can even give you the impression of the posterior wall also. They can give you the impression of the posterior wall also. Okay. What about V3 and V4? So V3 and V4, they are actually looking at the anterior part of the left ventricle. Anterior part of the left ventricle. Okay, anterior part of the left ventricle. Fine. So these are also the part of anterior chest leads. They are anterior chest leads. Okay. And this V5, V6 is more towards the lateral side. So we call them V5, V6. We call them lateral leads. Clear? And they are mostly looking at the left ventricle. Left ventricle. Clear? Now, if I group them, we have another concept that is called contiguous leads. Let me decrease the size. Contiguous leads. Contiguous leads, we call them 1 AVL, V5 and V6. We together call them contiguous leads. So 1 AVL, I think you remember AVL from this side. See AVL, 1 is from this side. Okay, 1 AVL. So we call them contiguous leads, and V5 and V6. Contiguous, no? Yeah. So they can give the same view. And V1, V2 and 3, they are called right ventricular leads. I hope you know V3, 3 is like this, isn't it? 3 is like this. So they will give you more about the right ventricle. Do you remember? Yeah. So they can give you a nice view of the right ventricle. Is it clear? Now I want you to understand this story. You have understood very nicely. I want you to understand, if I had a negative electrode and I had this a positive electrode, and you were having a change, rapid depolarization was happening, you were seeing some deflections, or a positive deflection was seen. Okay. But what if a lead is perpendicular? What if a lead is perpendicular like this? What will happen at that phase? You will get biphasic pattern. One phase will be up, one will be down. Don't you think one will be up, one will be down? So if this is a positive electrode, then one will be down, one will be up, because you are going from negative to positive. So phase will change. So you were going from positive to positive, you are having this. So if you are going away from the negative, the current is going away from the negative. So you are getting more positive because you are going more towards the positive. But the negative phase will become more negative as you go to the more positive phase. So negativeness will become more, positiveness will become more while you are moving more towards. And that lead which is far away from you will get a opposite negative deflection. So this is what I want you to understand. The purpose to make you understand is that in a perpendicular lead, you are able to see two phases, biphasic pattern. In a perfect perpendicular lead, you will get a biphasic pattern. When the current is passing through that perpendicular area, you will get a biphasic pattern. Otherwise, you are getting that pattern of that principle. Okay. So if you see anywhere partly up, partly down, then in a perpendicular lead, then it is it should be normal, because perpendicular leads have these biphasic patterns because of they are perpendicular. Okay. So I think we will cover in the next lecture, we will discuss more about these things. So I hope you have understood this principle of ECG and the way the leads are connected. Okay. So you should at least digest this much to understand this concept. So see you all in the next lecture. Take care and bye bye.